Hey Emily, what do you call a pirate robot?
I don't know.
R2D2.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to KidsCon Online. We're your host, Emily.
And I'm Jeremy. We've got an awesome 2-episode show filled with artists, game designers,
Musical performances, story time, superheroes, princesses, and much more.
Here's some of the fun coming up.
Wow, this is going to be a blast.
Yeah, let's kick it off with a sweet jam about Jean.
Hi, my name is Greg, and when I was a kid, I had an imaginary friend. His name was Jean. Whenever I would play outside and my clothes would be all covered in dirt and mud, I would start making my way into the house. Jean would then say, "Whoa, wait a minute! Before you track all that dirt in the house, I'm going to need you to take off your shoes, change your clothes, and wash your face and hands now." I said, "Okay, no problem. I can do that, Jean." And every night before I went to bed, Jean would say, "Whoa, wait a minute. Before you get into that bed smelling like a barrel full of monkeys at a zoo, I'm going to need you to take a bath, floss, and brush your teeth too." I said, "Okay, no problem. I can do that, Jean."
Thanks, Greg. That was an awesome song. Remember, kids, keep your rooms clean and wash your hands.
And now let's go meet some special guests including John Patrick Green, Dave Roman, and more amazing creators.
Hello everyone at Virtual KidsCon. My name is John Patrick Green and I write and draw comic books. I've done books such as Hippopotamuster and the Kitten Construction Company series and Teen Boat, which I drew, and these were written by Dave Roman. But I want to talk to you about my new series, which, if you haven't guessed already, is called Investigators. And Investigators is about these two alligators. Their names are Mango and Brash. And Mango is the dark green one with the round jaw, and Brash is the light green one with the square jaw. And they work for an organization called SUIT. And SUIT stands for Special Undercover Investigation Teams. And Mango and Brash, that means they are detectives, they are investigators, and they go undercover to solve crimes and mysteries. And since they're investigators, they do it in vests. And these vests are very exciting spy technology. So what they do is the vests, they can wear them to be in disguise in any sort of job that's required for whatever mystery they're trying to solve. And the vests have all sorts of gadgets that can come out to help them, in their crime solving. So in the first book, Mango and Brash go undercover to solve the disappearance of a missing pastry chef. And they also look into an explosion that takes place at the science factory. The science factory is where all the science is made. And along the way, there's lots of hijinks. There are many bizarre characters, such as a brain surgeon who can transform into a news helicopter. He's called Dr. Copter. There's also a giant chicken who is a scientist. His name is Dr. Doodle Doo. There's also a octopus named Sven Septipus. He works for SUIT. He is one of the good guys on the investigators team. He specifically works in this division called ARMS, ARMS. It stands for Apparel Research and Manufacturing, and everyone calls it ARMS, but they don't know what the S stands for. Sven, he will say it stands for Sven, but that's kind of up for debate. So as I said, there's a lot of wacky characters, there's silly acronyms, there's a lot of puns, and hopefully you like puns. Because I said it's a series, this is the first book, which is out now. But there's a second book. This is an advanced reader copy, but the second book actually will come out in September, so in just a few short months. There is supposed to be a preview comic that was originally going to be available for Free Comic Book Day, which means it would have been out in time for the KidsCon. But, that's all up in the air. So maybe, hopefully, people will get to see that preview of the first few chapters before September. But it doesn't stop there. There's a third book, which comes out next February. And there's a fourth book, which I'm currently drawing. And then there's a fifth book, which I have to get around to. So there's a lot of them. So I hope you really like them. If you want to know more about the series and when the books come out and where you can buy them or read some of the chapters, you can go to the official website, which is investigatorsbooks.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram. They are both at John Green Art. And there at the official website, you can watch the book trailer. There's an animated book trailer with a catchy theme song. There's also some games that you can play online. There's a little interactive game at the site, and there's some downloadable activities like a how to draw page and some puzzles and mazes and stuff like that. And of course, there's links to where you can buy the book, but it's pretty much available anywhere, and I encourage you to support your local bookseller if that's an option for you. And so that's basically it. I'm sorry we didn't get to, have this convention in person, but hopefully in the future that opportunity will come up again. And thank you so much for watching.
Oh, hey guys, it's the Flash. Hopefully everything's great with you, and hopefully you're hanging in there. I know it's a tough time, but we're all going to get through this together. So keep working, stay safe, stay warm, and stay home.
Hey kidscon attendees, greetings from the shining metropolis that is New York City. My name is Dave Ehrman, and I'm a cartoonist who's worked on several comics and graphic novels, including the Astronaut Academy series and Teen Boat, Race for Boatlantis, which I made with my buddy John Patrick Green. I just love comics and graphic novels, don't you? Do you like to draw? Do you like to read comics? I started drawing comics when I was really young, and I just never stopped. I thought I'd read you a chapter from my book Astronaut Academy, Zero Gravity, and then I'll follow that up with a little drawing tutorial to show you how I draw one of the characters from the book. If you want to follow along while I draw, that would be super awesome. My name is Mayumi-san, and I go to Astronaut Academy. Okay, class, today begins your dinosaur driving lessons. Boring. I've been driving dinosaurs since kindergarten. Blah. That Maribel Melonbelly so plays the snob role. I guess it pays, since she's the daughter of a wealthy business tycoon. Well, rich people often make big mistakes. I would love to see her fall on her face, which is smug. Oh, Mayumi, you are so mean, but in the best way, which is fun. Enough jibber-jabber. It's time to pick your dinosaurs. Hurry, before they become extinct. Again. On the moonroof. Wow, so many to choose from. It makes it hard to decide for me. I like this one best, but I hope he's not stupid. Slurp. You must be smart because you knew I'd taste good. That makes us friends. Nice dinosaur. He matches you and your pea-sized brain, which I've often compared to things that are small and useless. Hey, that insult is unfair since you have never seen my brain and have just met this dinosaur. I would take it back, except for that it's true, and the truth lives on. If you think your brain is so great, then maybe you can beat me in a race. But I doubt it, since you are so behind the times. You can't say things like that to me. I'm rich, and I'll race you to prove how smart I am. Deal. Deal. Let the race begin. Giddy up, Dino. Wait, you cannot race. It is only a first lesson, and besides, it's my job to say let the race begin, since I am the one with the teacher's degree. Then say it, because this contest has to be official, so the world can know that legally I am the best. Oh, okay then. Let the race begin. Now. Ha 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 ha. That's my winner's laugh. Zoom. Chugga 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 chugga. Ha 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 ha. Okay, this is the part of the story where the overconfident bragging blonde girl slips up. Oh, please crash into a rock. Please. She probably thinks that because I'm rich, that I'm also naive from being brought up pampered. But I know what's up. How exciting. We should be placing bets so we can profit from this race. That's next week's lesson, Munchie. I can't look. Did Mayumi win yet? It looks like Maribel's in the lead. So crazy. No! Honk honk. Yes, I am the smartest and fastest girl in all Astronaut Academy. Bask in my glowing glory. This makes no sense. I thought good was supposed to prevail. I can't believe that I could be such a loser. Not so fast. Just because Maribel crossed the finish line first, that does not make her a true winner. What? How can this be? Nope. You see, class, Maribel forgot the most important part of dinosaur driving. Wearing your cute little hat. Which is why Mayumi wins the race and gets an A+ for being smart. Hooray! Justice is served! Fresh! Slurp! It's a photo finish! That was a scene from this book here, Astronaut Academy Zero Gravity. And if you like that one, you could also check out the sequel, Astronaut Academy Re-Entry.
Hi everyone, I'm Travis Mountain. I'm the artist and operator of Pixel Mountain Pop Art. I do pixel art with perler beads here. Everything on the table is handmade. Canvases are all hand painted. If you want to check out more of my work, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Pixel Mountain Pop Art. Or you can reach me at Gmail for email at pixelmountainpopart@gmail.com. Everything on the table is available for sale, and I also accept commissions for custom pieces, any requests. And if any of the kids out there do anything like this, have questions, or are interested on what I use, or need tips, or where I buy materials, anything like that, shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Thanks, everyone.
Hey guys, Trevor Mueller here. I am the writer and creator of a comic book for kids called Albert the Alien. Albert the Alien is a comedy adventure story about the first foreign exchange student from outer space. It's kind of like Steven Universe meets Gravity Falls, if you're familiar with either of those. The idea with Albert is to take things that we see every day in life that we consider ordinary and normal and find a way to turn it into a fun and wacky adventure. So the first chapter in the Albert the Alien Volume 1 graphic novel is about Albert's first day in school on Earth and how his alien school supplies take over the classroom because they think they can do a better job teaching. There's over 154 full-color pages in each of the graphic novels, and there are 4 volumes in the series. If you'd like to pick up a copy, please visit my online website at trevoramueller.com. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy Albert the Alien.
Introducing our special guest, all the way from the forest of Findon, Farlaine the Goblin. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Farlaine the Goblin, a tree goblin shaman from the forest of Findon. I'm looking for a forest of my own. I've been looking for years. I've gone through hundreds of lands, and I only have 10 lands left to explore. My best friend is Aaronwort, my tree. I carry him on my back, and as long as we're touching, we can make seeds grow. I'm also good friends with Drowsy, a tink from the Tinklands. He falls asleep when it gets dark out. Well, the lands are really weird. Most of them don't have forests, but you still gotta walk through them. For instance, in the Saltlands, everything's made of salt, even the people. In the Racelands, you had to race everywhere you were going or you get stuck in an invisible box. And in the Vaultlands, you're surrounded by vaults full of everything from giraffes to left-handed bees to angry emotions and empty space. So the lands are the real challenges.
Thank you so much, Farlaine. It was a pleasure meeting you. Can you tell us where we can find your comic books?
My comics are available in cool comic shops, comic conventions like kidsconne, on Amazon, or from farlaine.com if you want a copy signed and doodled in. That's FARLAINE.com. Thanks!
Awesome. Thank you so much, Farlaine. See you in the comics.
Well, hi there. What's your name? Hi, Rachel. My name's Sarah. Would you like to hear a story? You pick one. This one? Leila's Goal? All right, I'm going to come around and read it to you. Leila's Goal. Leila wakes up with a start. What was that? She wonders. Leila notices her clothes are wet. This isn't dew. She sniffs the dampness. Yuck! This is poison. Leila is angry. Why do humans insist on spraying this stuff everywhere? Leila has heard from her fairy friends that humans use this poison to control weeds and pests. Leila does not understand this. All life is good. There is no such thing as weeds or pests, she mutters. Leila has been a good, kind fairy her whole life. But now the humans have poisoned her home and she is angry. She and some of her fairy neighbors meet to talk about this. Some of her neighbors think that they should talk to the humans and teach them about what they're doing. Others think it is time for action. They want to get back at the humans for destroying their environment. Leila is quiet for most of the meeting. She's listening carefully to everything everyone has to say. At the end of the meeting, Leila speaks up. I've been listening carefully this whole time. I understand both sides. It hurts me to say this, but I don't think trying to teach the humans is working. Too many of them don't realize we exist. Leila takes a deep breath. So, I think it's time for action. We need to do something significant to get their attention. The question is, what should the fairies do to get the humans' attention? What do you think, Rachel? What should they do? Make a lot of noise? Yeah, it's worth a shot. The group ponders this for a while and finally decides to show humans the consequences of poisoning the environment. What about you, Rachel? Do you have consequences? Yeah, sometimes you have to go to your room. That's a good consequence. They make it hard for crops to grow, and water makes people sick. Finally, people start to understand. We need to take better care of the environment. Using poison to kill unwanted plants or bugs and keep animals away is not a good idea. Over time, Leila sees the humans being kinder to her home. The poison takes a long time to finally disappear, but she's happy no more is being added. Now, Leila can sleep under the leaves and blades of grass without fear of being harmed. The end. Did you like it? Yeah, it was a good story. Well, I'm going to give you this for your parents in case they would like to find any more of my books for you to read at home. Thanks for visiting.
KidsCon Online is made possible by supporters like you. To support us, go to kidscononline.com and click donate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Kay Reed, but you can call me MK. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator professionally, and I've made a couple of comic books with a friend that we sold at Baltimore Comic-Con. I mostly like to draw cartoon characters, especially if they're animals. Today, I want to share a short story that I wrote and illustrated called Whispered Star. It's about a little mouse who has trouble making friends. I'd like to say I was going to read it to you, but it's a wordless story, so let me just show you. We start with just the silhouette of a sad and lonely little mouse named Whisper. Whisper tries to speak, but can't say anything. Maybe they can't find their voice, or maybe they think no one will hear them, or listen. Whisper's ears perk up, a bit more alert, as they see a group of other animals. Maybe they could be friends. Whisper approaches them. A cat acknowledges Whisper's presence. The mouse lets out a tiny noise, maybe a quiet word or two, but the cat rejects Whisper, wanting nothing to do with them. Whisper walks away, discouraged, hugging themselves tight. even more sad and lonely than before, and now with hurt feelings. They return to their quiet, lonely place where they can still say nothing. Then suddenly, they get startled by a tap on the back. It's a friendly fox that Whisper has never met before. He introduces himself with positive words, which are represented here by a star. Though Whisper is a bit confused and very shy. The fox takes Whisper's hand and starts leading them somewhere. The mouse is uncertain, but goes along with the friendly fox. The fox quickly stops in front of his friends, telling Whisper that they're good. The friends all say nice things. Whisper looks back, unsure. They hesitate, then quickly speak, with a hint of the positivity the fox had showed before. The other animals respond in kind. Whisper has found a group of accepting and encouraging friends. Sometimes all a lonely, quiet kid needs is a little encouragement and acceptance. I'm not speaking from experience or anything. Why would anyone say that? Anyway, thanks for joining me for this short story. If you like my work, you can find me on this social media and on my website, marykreed.com. If you really like my art and you want to support me, I also take commissions, and I'm considering selling a PDF of this story if there's interest. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. I also have some merch available on Redbubble. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and have a great day. Bye.
Reindeers are better than people. Sven, don't you think that's true? Yeah, people beat you and curse you and cheat you. Every one of them's bad except you. Oh, thanks, buddy. But people smell better than reindeers. Sven, don't you think I'm right? Well, that's once again true for all except you. You got me. Let's call it a night. Good night. Don't let the frost bite.
Hi, I'm Leona Hosack. I'm a caricature artist, but I also draw the pictures for children's books. I drew the pictures for this book, which is called The Adventures of Mr. Muffins. This was written by my friend Bill Pagan, who actually has a little Yorkshire Terrier named Mr. Muffins. Mr. Muffins has two dog friends in this book. One is named Iris, who has only one eye, so she wears an eye patch, and the other is Hunter, who is a hound dog. In this story, Mr. Muffins gets lost in the woods and his two friends help rescue him. I based my drawings of the three dogs, Mr. Muffins, Iris, and Hunter, on the actual Mr. Muffins and his two dog friends in real life. Bill Pagan wrote a second Mr. Muffins book called Happy Birthday, Mr. Muffins. It also features Mr. Muffins and his two friends who travel through the woods, guiding Mr. Muffins to his surprise birthday party. I also drew the pictures for this book. Bill Pagan wrote a third Mr. Muffins book called Through the Holidays with Mr. Muffins. I'm working on the drawings for that right now, but they're not quite finished yet. All of these books are available on Amazon.com or River Run Books in Portsmouth. You can order any of the three Mr. Muffins books, and you can also pre-order Through the Holidays with Mr. Muffins. Just go to Amazon.com or RiverRunBooks.com. Happy reading.
Hey everybody, my name is Charles Brubaker, and this is my buddy Max. Say hi, Max. He's just shy. You know, growing up, I grew up with a lot of cats. They're fun, they're cuddly, fuzzy friends. And I'm pretty sure many of you probably have cats in your home. So, naturally, stories about cats are fascinating. Well, you'll be happy to know that I have plenty of all ages comics featuring cats that kids can read. Let's take a look. Over here on my table, you can find hilarious comics and graphic novels that you, your family, and every other cat lover in your life can enjoy. Here we have 2 volumes of Ask a Cat, a hilarious comic strip about a cat of ice columnist answering everyday questions from humans in a way that only cats can think up. Here we have 2 volumes available. Volume 1, simply called Ask a Cat, and Volume 2, Laptops Are So Warm. They're both 128 pages full of funniest, hilarious comic strips about cats than you can imagine. Below are 2 Fuzzy Princess books, Volumes 1 and Volume 2, a graphic novel series about an alien cat princess who gets into mischief with humans after getting lost from her kingdom. Both are 192-page, full-color graphic novel and are especially delightful for kids of all. I offer free US shipping for all books, which will be shipped promptly once an order has been placed. Thank you for checking out my table, and hope you have a good day.
That was fun meeting all those amazing creators.
If you like what you saw, please check out their websites and pick up their art.
Next, how about Storytime with Batman, Mask Making with Catra, and Science with Supergirl?
And Build a Snowman with Elsa.
Hey kids, today I'm going to be reading a story based off an animated movie, one of my favorite animated movies, called Sub-Zero! Not to be mistaken with the Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Anyways, you guys will get to that later. Anyways, this is all part of the virtual kidscon, so I'd like to thank you to Emily, Drew, for letting me do this. So, let me get started, okay? Alright. One evening, Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon were out enjoying a night of dining and dancing. Although the 2 friends occasionally dated, neither of them knew the other's secret identity. Dick was actually Robin, a daredevil partner to the master detective Batman, and Barbara was actually Batgirl, a lone crime fighter who sometimes helped Batman and Robin stop criminals. Suddenly, someone screamed and the dancers turned in alarm. Banging through the doorway was the villain, Mr. Freeze. Armed with a freeze gun, and on either side of him stood a couple of polar bears, very vicious. Mr. Freeze lunged towards Barbara and grabbed her arm. Dick stopped Freeze, tackling the cold criminal, slamming him to the floor. Just as quickly, a polar bear sent Dick flying with one swipe of his paw. Dick recovered to find Freeze dragging Barbara out of the door. Outside, Dick hopped on his motorcycle and took off after Mr. Freeze's getaway van. But Mr. Freeze fired his gun, covering the road with a sheet of slick ice. Dick's motorcycle spun out of control, and Mr. Freeze got away with Barbara. Oh no. Mr. Freeze took Barbara to his icy hideout where a doctor named Gregory Belson was waiting. "What am I doing here?" Barbara demanded. "Mr. Freeze's wife needs a total organ transplant," Dr. Belson said. "Preparing for surgery, since both you and her have the same rare blood type, we decided that you'd be the donor." Realizing the time was short, Barbara began to plot her escape. Wow. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne, who was secretly Batman, arrived at Gotham General Hospital emergency room. He was there to see Dick, who had been injured in the chase. "What's going on?" Dick asked Bruce. "Why would Freeze kidnap Barbara?" When no one else was watching, Bruce tapped into the hospital computer to find some clues. He quickly discovered that Barbara Gordon had a very rare blood type, a blood type that was shared by Nora Fries. Dick asked, looking at the computer screen, "Mr. Freeze's wife?" Dick answered. Soon, Bruce and Dick had put on their costumes and began a crime-fighting duo. Batman and Robin. The 2 heroes followed a trail of clues that led them to a rundown waterfront pier. "There's nothing here but ocean," said Robin. "Look," said Batman, scanning a computerized map. "There's an old oil derrick out there. That must be it." Meanwhile, on the oil derrick, Dr. Belson was ready to operate. Barbara struggled as he tried to anesthetize her. She mustered all her strength and kicked Freeze, escaping through the door. Belson grabbed the gun and bolted after her. That's not nice. No guns. Outside, the Batwing roared out of the clouds and headed down towards the oil derrick. "Barbara's down there," yelled Robin in alarm. Watching the young woman scramble across the platform, Dr. Belson rushed after her, firing his gun. With Batman at the controls, the Batwing hovered over the platform. Then Robin positioned himself on the wing and jumped. Dr. Belson looked up to see Robin headed straight for him. Belson was knocked to the ground and his gun hit the platform and fired. Shots went in, hitting the big oil tanks, igniting pools of spilled oil. The fire quickly spread. Batman set the Batwing down in the midst of the flames. He leaped at the platforms as Robin struggled with the fire hose. Suddenly, Freeze's polar bear came thundering out of the darkness. Thinking fast, Batman and Robin used the steel pipes to pole vault over the charging animals. The two bears disappeared over the edge of the platform and dropped into the ocean below. Batman and Robin were just about to turn their attentions back to rescue Barbara when Mr. Freeze appeared. He fired his freeze gun, sending two heroes diving for cover. Suddenly, another oil tank exploded, sending heavy scaffolding and debris crashing down on Mr. Freeze. Batman and Robin and Barbara rushed to free the villain from under a heavy steel girder. "Let's get out of here," Batman cried, pointing to the spreading flames. "Not without Nora," said Freeze, who was injured from the blast. "Please save her." Batman and Barbara hushed to the operating room, and in a few minutes they carried Mr. Freeze's wife up to the platform where Robin was piloting the Batwing. With Nora, Barbara, and Belson safely aboard the aircraft, Batman went back for Mr. Freeze, but it was too late. He was gone. And then there was another explosion. Big explosion. It's really big. Batman held up the Batwing steadily as Batman fired his grapple, and the aircraft lifted Batman up, hanging underneath. Below him, he thought the two bears trying to hold him in afloat in the air. Could that be Freeze? He wondered. 2 weeks later, Wayne Manor, Bruce, Dick were watching the news on television. A reporter covering the story on Nora Freeze, a successful organ transplant, and their amazing recovery. And somewhere in the Arctic, a cold man with two polar bears were watching the same news broadcast, and that man was smiling as well. The end. Happy endings.
Is this first tech working? Well, I hope you can hear me. This is Catra reaching out to you all the way from Eternia, and I am recruiting you for the evil horde. Today, I'm going to teach you how to create your own secret identity, such as
Laserman!
And we're going to foil She-Ra this time. Alright? So all you need are everyday things you can find around your dwelling to create your own mask. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to tell you what you need to create your secret identity. All you need is white paper. You can also use colored paper or construction paper. Have a pencil, and you can use markers or crayons to color them in. It's helpful if you have a hole puncher, but you can use your pencil too. And to tie it up to go in the back of your head, you'll need some string. You can also use a shoelace or yarn, whatever works. And if you don't have white paper, you can use paper plates. So, let's do this one. Do you know which character this is? Batman. Well, you can create a new character. Do a different color. Let's have some fun. All right. We're going to start with a sheet of paper, how it's tall, because this actually is a perfect way. It wraps right around your face, so it's a perfect width to use. And you may not have a stencil. This is just for us to watch how to draw it. So we'll start with his left side. We'll just do a curve like that and do it again on the opposite side of the paper. Now he has his ears, so we're just going to go a curved triangle down and a curved triangle on the other side. And we'll do a hump right in the middle to connect them. Next, let's do two lines pointing downwards on the bottom, and the other pointing inwards too. we're going to make the letter M, a curvy letter M for the mouth. So this is going to be curving where his nose would be and going down. Now we'll need some triangles for eyes. So go around the middle and repeat the same image opposite on the other side. All right. Now I'm just going to mark where I'm going to cut out some holes so that I can tie the string after. I'm going to go about the middle where his eye is, along the side here, and I'll do again on the other side. Now at this point, you can go and color him in. And it doesn't have to be black. You can use any color you want. It's your own creation. And if you wanted to, you could also do this on colored paper. Save you the coloring. Okay, now let's color it. Now, you may not be able to color as fast as me because I have first one's techie. Well, let's have fun. All right, so it's colored. Let's cut it out. And if you need someone's help, like your parents, get them before you start cutting. Let's cut out most of it. Now, how are you going to get in to cut out his eyes? So you could use a hole puncher to cut in, or just use the tip of your pencil. Like that. Then get your scissors and cut around. There are the eyes. Now we're going to cut the two holes. Again, using the pencil, or if you have a hole puncher. I'll show you with the hole puncher. Like that, or with a pencil. Poke a hole like that. There you go. Now, we'll take the string. We'll put it through one hole, and like you're tying your shoelace, do a little knot. And just loop them around again. Like that. And repeat on the same on the other. This is before you do this last one. You'll want to kind of measure how much it's going to, so it can fit around your head. Ask your parents to help, or your brothers or sisters. And if you have extra little bits, just cut it off. All right, here is my mask. Batman. And you'll just wrap around your head. But that's how you do it. Let's do another one. You ready? Let's see. Let's do this one. You know who that is? The Flash. Well, it can be whoever you want. You can be Laser Man. It's your own secret identity. So this time, I'm going to have fun and draw it with colored paper. Colored construction paper. Saves you the coloring. Alright, so we're going to do an oval, and then he's got some triangles. So let's draw an oval. And then we're going to have triangle bottoms. Just like that. We'll do the eyes, kind of like donuts, or letter D's. And we'll do the lightning bolts. And repeat on the other. Okay, now we'll put two holes for where we're going to have the string. And he looks like he's ready to cut out. Punch the holes in for the eyes. and the holes for where I'm going to put the string. And there's presto, your secret identity. Now you just tie the string, just like before. And if you want to color in, let's say I'm going to color in his lightning bolts. Awesome. There you go. Now, there's so many secret identities you can do. And if you like to create more of these, you can go to my website, emilyatplay.com, and download some free templates that you can print out. And if you want to do the next step, you can take your mask and make it into a puppet. All you need is a paper bag, some tape or glue, and watch. I'm going to take my mask head, put a little tape on there, put it on the part that flaps, or glue, and you already got a puppet going on. So there's his mouth. It's going to be right under here. So if you want to draw in his mouth, you can do it like the letter D, right under here. And now he's talking. I'm Batman. And another fun thing, you can give him some arms, a cape, all sorts of things. So if you can use construction paper, let's create a cape. I'm just going to do a shape that's kind of like a legs. And then I'm going to do humps, shapes, just like that. 3 humps, and there's a cape. Let's cut that out. His cape. And then you're going to put that on the back. And just tape it on or glue it on. Voila! Batman! And you can give him some arms too, using pipe cleaners you have around the house, and your scraps of construction paper making hands. Well, I hope you had a lot of fun today, and keep up. I want to see your creations. Feel free to post them below. Create your superhero identity, and have a great day.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Science with Supergirl. We'll be grabbing things that you can find around your house to do some really fun science experiments we can all learn together while we're inside right now. And so before doing any of the science experiments in the videos, just make sure that you have someone who is older than you watching you and making sure that you're safe and everything goes well. And learning with other people is always way more fun than learning by yourself. And so our first video, we're actually going to learn about something called density. And so have you ever thrown a rock in a lake and noticed that the rock just falls down to the bottom of the water? But then when you're in a bathtub and you put your favorite rubber ducky, somehow the rubber ducky doesn't just sink to the bottom of your tub, it kind of floats. And so things like that can actually be explained with something that we call density. And so the rock falling down to the bottom of the lake is actually because it's more dense. And the rubber ducky that's floating in your bathtub, it floats because it's actually less dense. And so density is basically how much stuff is pushed together real tight and super squished together. And so the best way I can explain that to you is, have you ever had story time in class and the teacher gathers all of your friends around and you're all sitting on a carpet getting really close and snuggly so you can hear what the teacher is saying, and you're all super excited and want to hear every single word she says because you just want to know what happens to the princess or the superhero. And so you are basically so close with your friends that if you just stick out your hand on either side, there'll be someone around you that you'll be hitting. Well, that's kind of like how molecules are in things that are more dense. They're more compact together, and they are just super squeezed together and have almost little room to move around, versus when it's recess and you're out with your friends, you're outside on the playground and there's so much space and you can run around and wave your arms around and there's absolutely almost no one around and you can chase each other and you have all this free space and energy just to run around the playground. Well, that would be something that's a little bit less dense. Molecules and substances that are less dense can actually move around more. And so that's a great way of just trying to figure out and put in your mind what density is. And so basically what we'll be doing in this experiment is that you'll need a soda bottle, you'll need some hand soap, which I have right here in my little panda hand soap. You'll need 1 cup of oil, so it can be like vegetable oil, cornstarch oil, and we'll have 1 cup of water. So I actually don't have another cup, but what I do have is 3/4 cup of water and 1/4 cup of water, which equals 1 cup of water altogether. And you'll actually need some food coloring as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our bottle and we're going to pour our water in first. So this can be a little tricky. Just be really careful. You can easily spill it around everywhere. So I put 3/4 cup of water. So how much more cups of water would I need for 1 cup? Yep, you were right, 1/4 cup of water. So here's my other 4th cup of water. And now we're gonna add some food coloring in it. So I have blue, red, green, and yellow. What color do you think I should use? Did you say green? Okay. Yeah, I heard green. I'll definitely use the green one. So we put a couple of drops. You don't need too much, just a couple of drops is good. Let me just squeeze it on up. Okay, now we close our bottle, make sure it's really tight so we don't spill anything, and we mix it. We mix it really, really good. See how my water looks green now? Awesome. And now we're going to add 1 cup of oil. And then I close it like this. So see how you have the green water and you have the yellow oil on top? So what would happen if I mix this bottle? So after mixing it, you can see that there's a layer that's still forming on top. It's a little bubbly, but you can see that there is a green layer and an oil layer. And the reason why this happens is because the water is actually more dense than the oil on top. And because the oil is less dense, it actually forms its own layer and sticks on top of the water. Similar to how you have the rubber ducky that floats on top of the water in your bathtub. So that's really cool that you can form 2 layers because these things are less dense. But what would happen if we pour some of soap into it? And so this is the same soap that you use to just wash your hands every day. You always hear people say, hey, wash your hands lately. So we're putting some soap in here. And now we're gonna we're gonna mix it and squish it around. And we have bubbles. And you can see that everything is settling. And you can see that there's just bubbles and there's no 2 layers being formed between the water and the soap. And so the reason for that is because oil doesn't really like water. It's this big word that we call hydrophobic, which means like phobia, like when you're scared of something, and hydro meaning water, so it's scared of water. So not only is oil less dense, it also is really scared of water and doesn't really want to get mixed in there. It wants to step away a little bit from it. But soap actually likes both water and oil. And so what the soap does, it actually kind of interacts or messes with both of them. And so we get this same mixture and there's no more layers being formed. And that's why soap is so important when washing your hands. It can get rid of oils from your hands. It can get rid of oils from your clothes, from your dishes, which is why your mom uses a little bit of the dish soap when cleaning. And so this just shows you how important soap is and why every time you wash your hands, you should be using some soap with that as well. I know that you've been hearing a lot more lately, wash your hands, but that's just because your loved ones are really worried about you, like your mom and your dad and your sister. So just make sure to not just wash your hands with water, but to also use a little bit of soap as well. And so I hope you learned a little bit more about density and how oil's a little bit scared of water and how amazing soap is as well. Thank you.
Greetings from the Enchanted Forest. My name is Elsa and welcome to kidscon. Now, who here likes to build a snowman? It just so happens that it's one of my favorite things to do. Me and my sister Anna, we just love building snowmen. I have a great activity that we can do together if you'd like to join me. So, do you want to build a snowman? Alright, so what's the first thing that we need to build a snowman? I think snow. Alright, can we go like this? Try and use our imagination like we're creating a snowstorm and we're going faster and faster and faster. Great job, everyone. Now, I think we probably have enough snow, don't you? So we're going to take a deep breath and blow at the screen to make it stop. Oh no! I think it just got heavier, don't you? Maybe if we clap 3 times we can stop this storm. What do you think? Okay, let's do it together. Wow, now that the snow has stopped, we can, let's see, what do we need? Maybe to make a pile of snow. That's a good place to start. So we're going to reach out our arms and gather up that snow. Take a big pile from this side. Take a big pile from this side. And now, let's make the body of the snowman. We're going to take the snow and we're going to roll it around and make a big ball for the body. Good job! Now that we have the snowman's body, let's make a head. Take a little more snow from this side and a little more snow from that side, and let's roll that ball of snow up there. Alright, great, we have a head. Pick up your head, stick it on top of your Well, we have a pretty good snowman going there. Now, if we wanted to make a snowman, let's say like a little friendly snowman. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? That's right, Olaf. Now, Olaf has 3 buttons going down. So can you poke 3 holes for buttons? 1, 2, 3. Good job. Now, what else does Olaf have? I think I heard somebody say nose. And you're right, but we're not going to get there just yet. How about his arms? Now, what is his arms made of? That's right, wood. All right, we're going to need a tree. So let's take a look. Do we see any? I think I see a big tree over there. So we're going to go over and chop down 2 branches for his arms. It helps when you make the sound effect. And the other side. Now break off those branches, crunch, and we're going to stick them in our snowman. So now he has arms. So let's see. I know Olaf has 2 eyes too, right? Alright, let's go like this. Make his little eyes. And he has a little sprouty hair there. So we're just going to go. Alright, now, somebody said nose before. What does Olaf use for his nose? That's right, a carrot. Now, can anybody see if they see any carrots around here? You know what? I do see a carrot, but somebody else has it. Can you guess what friendly reindeer has Olaf's nose? I think I heard somebody say Sven, and if you did, you're correct. So we're gonna have to try and get that carrot away from Sven. We're gonna have to come up with an idea. I think if we try asking him first, Sven, can we have Olaf's carrot nose? He doesn't seem to want to give it. So let's try yanking it from him. So can everybody pretend they're pulling that carrot out of Sven's grip there? A little harder, a little harder. Oh my goodness, I can't seem to get the carrot away from him. All right, let's try really nicely saying, Sven, can you please give Olaf back his nose? Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Sven, can you please give Olaf back his nose? Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Sven. That was so nice of you to give Olaf back his nose. So now we have a complete snowman. Well, everyone, I hope you had fun building a snowman with me. And I hope to see you real soon. Bye, everyone.
Wow, science can be so much fun with easy-to-find household items.
And I had a blast using my imagination building a snowman. Now get your pencils and papers ready, and let's learn to draw some fun characters from Investigators in Paddington Bear.
Plus, learn to make a Mega Man with Pixel Mountain pop art.
Hello everyone, I'm John Patrick Green, and I am the writer and artist of Investigators, and I'm going to show you how to draw some of the characters. So I'm going to draw the character Mango, who is one of the main alligators in the book. And to do that, I always start with the eyes of the gators. Both of the gators look very similar. Actually, I start with the back of the head sometimes, but it leads right into the eyes. As I was saying, both of the alligators look very similar. Their main difference is their jaw, which I'll get to in a second. So their eyes are basically 2 little loops. Or actually, I should say their eyebrow area, sort of their forehead. And then I do the top of the snout. And then I do the nose, which is 2 smaller loops, very similar to the eyes. And here's where the big difference between Mango and Brash comes in. Mango has a curved chin, and Brash, the other alligator, has a square chin. So that's Mango's head. And then I do the body. And the body is sort of a like a tapered rectangle shape. And there you go, there's the body. Then I do the legs, and the legs are kind of just sort of long tubes that are about approximately the same height as the body or the torso. And at the end of the legs are, of course, the feet. And the gators on their feet, they have 3 toes, which are little triangles, which are basically an M shape. So there's the feet. And usually I also draw little lines here to indicate where the legs and the feet bend at the ankles. So there's the body and the legs and the head. So then I draw the arms, and one arm is often down by the side, so it just sort of attaches to the side of the body like that. It's basically a very long, thin triangle with an other M for fingers at the bottom. Then I draw the other arm, and the other arm, you know, we can have the other arm doing something. So maybe he's just holding it up. And while usually the gators have 3 fingers, a lot of times just 3 fingers are visible. They do have thumbs. So at the end of this arm, which is kind of like a macaroni shape, I will draw a thumb, and the thumb is coming inward like that, because he's going to be holding up one finger. And their fingers, when they're extended, are like longer triangles. And then little rectangles for the closed fingers. So he's going like that. So there's Mango. He's almost done at this point. He needs a tail. And the gator's tails, sometimes they swirl, sometimes they go up, sometimes they curl around, but very often they just sort of hang behind. And they are like a little, almost part of a half moon, not even a half moon, a quarter moon, waning moon shape that just sticks out the back. And then a little portion in between the legs that's visible. So now we need some details, obviously. At the back of each gator's head is a line of like ridges. And on the back of their heads, they each have 4 little ridges. And then those ridges continue on the tail. And basically, however many fit on the tail is however many go there. So now he needs actual eyes, little pupils, which are just very thin little ovals. They're almost just lines. And then nostrils, which are usually 2 little dots. And Mango, since he's often pretty happy, he usually has a big smile. So give him a smile, give him some teeth, give him like a little bit of tongue there showing, and fill it in. And now he needs some eyebrows to add to his expression. Right, there we go. So his head is maybe a little bit small, but I'm kind of drawing at a weird angle. His head is probably supposed to be a little bit bigger, but that's close enough. You get the idea. But he's not done yet because he is an investigator, and so he needs a vest. So the vests are actually pretty easy. You start with a V shape at the top of the neck area, top of the chest, and then at the bottom is a W shape, which just goes like that. And there we have the start of the vest. Of course, then all it needs is 2 little dots for buttons. Most of the vests that the Gators wear have 2 buttons. And the vest can change depending on whatever job they have that they're going undercover as to investigate mysteries. And then underneath the vest are these little belly stripes. And there's usually 2 or 3 stripes in the bottom, and then another 2 or 3 at the top. And there you go. That's Mango, basically. But now he needs a gadget to come out of his vest, because the investigators, these vests, they're not normal vests. They are very exciting spy technology. So they have these gadgets that pop out whenever they need something in their investigation. And so the gadgets extend on these little arms, these little folding arms that stick out. And at the end, let's see, what could be a good gadget to give Mango here? Let's draw at the end of the arms is usually a clasp that is like holding on to whatever gadget it may be. Oh, but you know what? Maybe, okay, I'm not going to give him a gadget. I'm going to give him a clue. So maybe he found a clue and he is picking it up off the ground. And I'm going to make this clue as a very wobbly circle, and it's supposed to be a cookie. I'm going to make it a chocolate chip cookie. So I'm going to add some little chips, and then maybe there's some crumbs falling. Maybe there's some crumbs on the ground. And so he picked up this cookie as a clue. But what mystery could he be solving that he came across a cookie? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, since there's 2 investigators, I'm going to add Brash into this picture. There's not a lot of room for him, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Brash at the bottom here. And as I said earlier, the Gators, they look very similar. They're drawn very similar. And their big difference is their heads. And so I'm going to draw Brash's head. Now Brash's head is closer to what size Mango's should have been. So Brash is going to be down here. And I'm going to draw his eyes and his nostrils. And we're going to give him some angry eyebrows because Brash is often frustrated with Mango. And he's going to be yelling something. So he's going to have a mouth like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw his little hands here, like that. And then I'm going to make part of a circle here. Well, first I'm going to finish off his head and body. So there's 4 there, 4 head ridges, his belly lines, and this circle here, which we see a little bit right there. And I'm going to look at the circle here. So he's coming out of the sewer. So there's like a manhole, an open manhole. Because the investigators, since they're alligators, and alligators in the sewers is a thing, they get around town by flushing themselves in the sewers. So often they are emerging from the sewer. So obviously Mango thinks he's found a clue, and Brash is upset about it. So I'm going to add a balloon of dialogue, since The Investigators book is a comic. It's a graphic novel. So that means they have balloons of dialogue. So Mango here can be saying, "Look, Brash, I found a clue." And I'll just close off that balloon. And Brash will say, "Mango, I said follow the bread crumbs, not cookie crumbs." There we go. That makes sense because in an investigation, much like Hansel and Gretel, there is often a trail of breadcrumbs that leads you to the culprit and the other clues and whatnot. So you follow breadcrumbs, you do not follow cookie crumbs. And there you go. That's essentially how to draw Mango and Brash from the Investigators. And like any proper artist, you should always sign your work. So I'm going to put my name at the bottom right here. There you go. Thank you for watching. I hope you had fun.
Hi guys, welcome to my studio. My name's Bob Alley, and as you probably know, I illustrate the Paddington Bear book. I thought maybe by inviting you into my studio today and doing a drawing for you that I could show you a little bit of what I would have shown you if I was standing in front of you. So imagine me standing in front of you using slightly different materials than we're going to be using today, but it would wind up being about the same way of thinking about characters and drawing characters. Now, first of all, I'm sure that lots of you guys like to make up your own stories and to tell and to show them to your friends by either drawing them or writing about them or doing a combination of writing and drawing, which is, of course, what a picture book is and which I just love to do because I just love that combination of telling some of the parts of the story in words and some parts of the story in pictures and sort of jumbling it all together and making sure you're not saying exactly the same thing in the words and the pictures. Anyway, back to the pictures in Paddington. Every Paddington drawing starts out with the scariest thing for an artist. Well, I'll show you. This is the scariest thing that any artist faces every time he comes or she comes to put down an idea on paper. Now, the thing is that this white piece of paper could be anything at all. That's kind of amazing, isn't it? So, today, though, we're going to turn this white piece of paper into a small drawing of Paddington, just like I would draw him in one of the Paddington books. I always start out by trying to sneak up on the drawing. Now, you know how sometimes when you have an idea for a picture in your head, a character or a scene or something, you think to yourself, maybe it just pops into your head and you think to yourself, I can put that on the piece of paper absolutely perfectly. Right as I could just sort of take it out of my head and put it onto the piece of paper. Oh, I wish it were that easy. No, I like to sneak up on my drawings because I have discovered that as the drawing travels from my head to the paper, sometimes some interesting things happen. So, like with Paddington, I begin pretty much in the same way each time. I draw Paddington's head as a circle, and his belly as a circle, and his two legs as sticks, and his arms as sticks, and his ears as little half circles. here, and here, and his nose like this, and 2 eyes like that, and there he is. Not really. He needs to have a few more things to make him look like Paddington, don't you think? Well, first of all, he shouldn't be just standing there. He should be moving. Paddington is a busy bear. Let's have him move. Let's have him move in this direction. So, if you've noticed, when you move somewhere, your nose goes first. So, we'll move Paddington's nose over to here. Well, that's a problem. Now it's going to fall off his head. So, we'll attach it to his head like that, and we'll get the eraser, and we'll get rid of that nose there, and we'll put an eye there, and an ear here. And Paddington's furry, so we'll use our red pencil to do a little fur around him like this. And this arm probably will be coming down like that because it'll want to hold his suitcase like that. And then he's moving, so his leg should be moving like that. And the other leg might be moving like that, so we'll get rid of those legs a little bit, and that arm like that. And his other arm might be swinging out in that direction. There. Now, Paddington wears a coat. So, we'll draw the coat around the stick figure that we've made, like this, and imagine yourself wearing a coat as you're drawing Paddington's coat. So, we'll draw Paddington's coat around like this, and his hood will come up behind him. And if I were Paddington, I would have the top button buckled and the bottom one not. So we'll add that there. And that means his legs will be out like this, and they'll be furry because he has fur all over. Knees, we have to have a little knees there. Bears' knees are very difficult to draw, by the way. So, like that. Very difficult, you can tell. And his arm will be coming out like this. And he has a hat. He usually wears his hat, which we'll put over his ears like this. So you won't be able to see his ears in the finished drawing, but you'll know they're there. Sometimes you might see a little bit of them sticking out down there. And that has so now I've used this red pencil here because I want to make sure that the composition, the way he's moving, the way I've drawn him, works and that isn't anything very odd about it. And now I notice, I don't know. I think that maybe is too big a nose on him. Maybe I'll make his nose a little smaller like this. Oh, that might be a little better. And maybe his legs are a little too short. His body is a little too short. So I'll make it a little more like that. Make them just a little longer. And but now his coat needs to be a little longer, so I'll bring his coat down like that. Then, when I'm happy with this part, I will take out my pen, my dip pen, and I will dip it into the inkwell, and I will start out with Paddington's nose, like this, and then this part of his head connecting to his nose, and some fur. And now what I'm doing is I'm using my red pencil as a guide to how I'm going to be putting this black ink line on, which I can't change after I put it on. It's going to sink into the paper and be there forever. So that's why this is the part of sneaking up on the drawing with the red pencil that's very important, because now I can pick out the parts of the drawing, these again, that I like, and that will show Paddington to his best advantage. There he is moving along like that, and his other arm will come up like this, and his hat, and this pen is really neat because when you push down on it, the line can get very thick, and then when you don't push down on it, it gets very thin, and then you can make it get thick again, and you can make the shadows come in like this, and make a little bit of a thick line like that. Oh, and then of course we'll have one eye there, and the other eye there, and his fur will be right in here, and have a little bit of shadowy fur stuff with the pen line coming in like this, and a little like this. And of course he'll have to have the initials on his suitcase like this, just in case. He never he never lets go of his suitcase, so it's very unlikely that it will get lost, but, you know, just in case. And so he'll put his initials on like that, and put a little more fur on like that, and then it's time for the watercolor paints. And I always like to start out with a little bit of light bear fur color, a lightish yellow color that sort of works well as the beginning of Paddington's fur, and then it gets darker a little bit here and there. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but the paper at this point begins to sort of buckle up a little bit and get a little, as it gets wet, it gets a little curvy, and you have to just allow that to happen. Sometimes artists will tape down all the edges of the paper to keep that from happening. Paddington's coat is usually blue, so we'll add one layer of blue like this, and his hat is red, so we'll start out with a little bit of a red hat like that, and his suitcase is a little brownish red, so we'll begin with the red there, and then we'll add a little bit of green, which will give us a nice little brown color like that. And then as some of the paint dries, we can add even brighter shades of color, and more of the hat getting a little redder, and the coat get a little bluer like this. And let's see, there we are. We're adding that. I'm imagining the sunlight coming in from this direction, so that you can imagine the shadows of everything coming around Paddington in underneath his hat like that, and maybe underneath his coat like this, and around like that, and the suitcase a little bit there. And a very important thing, you want to put a line under your character like this so it doesn't fall off the page. You don't want your character sliding off the bottom of the page there. And then Paddington needs just a little more personality to him, so we'll add the one last touch that's quite important, which is a little Paddington smile like that. And then a little more fur, and a little more fur like that, and a few little lines, and some lines for him to stand on like that. And there you have a Paddington drawn just for you in just a few minutes. So all the drawings wind up being done exactly in this way. I'm looking at this again here. And if you look at some of the drawings there and this drawing here, you see all these little red lines around there? You'll find some of those red lines in the drawings in the books too, because I'm not all that good at erasing them. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have maybe learned something about making pictures, but mostly, I hope you enjoyed it, and mostly, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be with you guys today. So I hope you have a good day. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the books. Take care. Bye-bye.
KidsCon Online is made possible by supporters like you. To support us, go to kidscononline.com and click donate. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Being Doodling. I'm your host, Cara Bean, and today we're going to focus on the emotion of happiness and how to draw happy. And I don't know if you know this, but they have done research proving that when you smile, even if it's a fake smile, just make yourself smile. Can you do that? And when you smile, you can actually trick your brain into feeling happier. And I think that drawing smiles and drawing happiness might also be good for making us feel happier. So we're going to draw today. So just some paper and your favorite drawing doodling utensils. I'm going to start with this blue marker, and I'm going to put down my Sharpie. So I'm going to warm up my pen so I feel ready. And then I'm going to, let's just start with the simplest thing you can make happy, which is just make a circle. Put a curve and 2 dots. And you have a smiley face, right? And then there's all kinds of smiles that you can do, right? Like you can do a little smile, or a big smile, open mouth smile. And I think, and then it's not just like your face and the smile, it's also what your body does. So when you feel happy, how do you energize your body? And a lot of people, think about when you score a touchdown, right? You're going to do like a little dance, or you like figured something out that was really tricky. You're like, yes. So we're going to draw our character just feeling really happy. So my character, I like to draw just a bean shape, because my last name is Bean, right? So I'm going to start with drawing a bean. And then I'm going to think about like what my body might be doing. And I'm going to think about sort of like dancing and jumping around a little bit. So I'm going to kick up my feet. Right? Maybe this one's going to go backwards. See that? And then my arms might be going out because I'm happy. I'm also smiling while I draw, because if I smile, then I feel like it's going to make my drawing happier. Okay, and then and now it's time to add my face. So I think 2 big eyes, good place to start. Bright-eyed, big smile, big smile. And then maybe I'll add some of my teeth in there. Maybe when I smile, my eyebrows go up a little bit, like big. So let's do that. Okay, that's looking happier. And then, I could add some details if I want to add some clothing. Maybe I'm wearing this striped shirt. Put some pants on. This is where you can just have fun adding accessories to your character. Take as much time as you want. And then, like when I'm happy, I might have a word bubble that says yippee! All right. And then maybe I can shade in my character. All right, and that is my happy character. So by smiling while I draw, by thinking about ways that I look and feel happy, even if I don't feel happy after I draw, I feel a little bit more happy. So try this out and see if it works for you. And you can have fun trying different characters. Like, what would a happy dog look like? Maybe his tongue sticking out. All right. First, I'm going to do the head. So there, it's like my little happy dog is running with me. Okay, so go fill up a page of happy characters. That maybe there's a dance party, maybe everyone's laughing, but give it a shot. See how you feel after you draw a bunch of happy characters. I hope you had fun drawing with me today. Drawing is so good for you. It's good for your brain, it relaxes you, and it can put you in a better mood. So keep drawing for fun. Don't stop. Thanks for doodling. Take care and goodbye.
Hi everyone, Travis here from Pixel Mountain Pop Art, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Mega Man bead sprite. The reason I picked this particular sprite to use as a demo is that it fits on one pegboard and it only uses 5 colors, so it should be pretty accessible for most people that have pearly beads at home. So as far as the colors, I'm going to be using black, white, cobalt, cream, and toothpaste. Now some of these colors can be swapped out if you don't have those. Peach can work instead of cream, or either a light blue or pastel blue can also work instead of the cobalt. Okay, so now we're going to go over how to iron your project once you're finished with it. First things first, kids, if you're watching this, make sure you have your parents around to help you do the ironing. The irons can get very hot. We don't want anyone to get burned, so make sure either you have your parents help you with this part or have them do it for you. So as far as the iron settings, I usually use either a cotton or linen setting on mine. It's going to vary between from iron to iron. But you want to use something that's fairly hot so that you can fuse the beads quickly. For materials, you can use, I know Perler supplies a sheet of ironing paper. I just use parchment paper. Part of that is because I use a lot of, I do a lot of larger projects, and Perler's paper is pretty small. So I use regular parchment paper that you can buy at the store. Do not use wax paper. You will run into some problems with that. And also make sure you are not using any steam or water with the iron at all. You want this to be dry. So what you want to do is you take your parchment paper, place it over your project. Since this is a smaller project, we're just going to iron it straight on the boards. But you want to be very careful and get this off the board quickly so you don't melt and warp your board. So once you have your iron heated up, you just want to place it over your project and go in a circular motion to make sure you're heating everything, trying to heat it as evenly as possible. And you'll start to see the beads come through on the paper, and that's what you want to watch for. Once you can see everything, what we're actually going to do is lift it up, and the beads are all going to stick to the paper so that you don't have to worry about it coming apart. But you don't want it to have the holes completely closed, because then you'll get it stuck to your board, or you can risk melting and or warping the board as well. So we're almost done here. You can see it coming through pretty well. I just want to make sure we don't lose anything when we lift it off. Over here. All right, that should do it. So lift it up off the board. Place the board back down. And I'm going to go for a flat melt on this, so I'm going to keep going a little bit more. And I'm just going to keep ironing until most, if not all, of the beads are completely closed. The last thing that you're going to want to do is make sure you put a heavy book or something over here so that the heat doesn't cause the board or the beads to curl whenever you're finished.
Hello everyone, this is Thor, Odin's son. I hope everyone's having a great day today and stay mighty like myself. I'm here today to teach you about Norse mythology. What better way to start Norse mythology than my mighty hammer, Mjolnir. Or Mjolnir for short. Mjolnir is a warhammer made for the mighty Thor, the god of thunder, lightning, rain, wind, and oak trees. Mjolnir is well known to be the most feared weapon in all Norse mythology, and be known to take down a tall giant and an entire mountain. There are many stories about how Mjolnir was formed. There is one of that my father, Odin, in the heart of a supernova, formed a mighty light hammer for his son Thor. And other stories that a meteor hit planet Earth, and where the Norse followers believe every time lightning struck, it was a sign of Mjolnir. In Norse mythology, Thor can wield Mjolnir with his belt, Mangala. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. When thrown, Thor's hammer would strike his target and come right back to him as a flash. It is said that Mjolnir was the strongest hammer in all of Asgard. That concludes our story on Norse Mythology Part 1. Hope you guys are having a great day and stay mighty in each of us.
Hey Hulkbuster, we have a question from Hayden from kidsconne, who's 10, and wants to know, what is your favorite feature of your suit?
Hey Hayden, I have to say that I like the repulsors, but I also like my big feet.
The next question that we had was, what size feet do you have?
These are actually about a size 20 foot. So think about like 3 times the size of what you're probably wearing right now, and that's what I've got.
The last question we had was, why did you build the Hulkbuster?
Well, the Avengers needed somebody to go toe-to-toe with the Hulk, and if you saw Avengers Age of Ultron, I did fairly well. I'd call it a draw.
Hey Jeremy, have you ever wanted to create your own game?
Yeah, I'd love to. Is that something anyone can do?
Absolutely. Just like comics, lots of creators make their own. Let's check out some indie games.
Ooh, this sounds fun.
Hey, kidsconne New England! I'm here to teach you about a game. Would you like to learn about a game about toasting marshmallows or about playing flashlight freeze tag at night? What do you think? Flashlight freeze tag? Well, all right. This is a game called Flashlights and Fireflies. And in this game, we're going to try to hide ourselves amongst some tokens and make our way to home base first by staying hidden while playing flashlight freeze tag. But these flashlights are pretty special because we've got to catch fireflies in order to use them. All right, so how do you play the game? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hide yourself. So you've got a token that represents you. And all we players are going to start here at the starting spot. And our job is to stay face down and hidden and get to home base. Now, how are we going to stay hidden if we've only got one little tile there? Well, we'll start the game with a couple of tiles, and what we do is we mix them up so only we know where we are. Okay, there we go. And the other players don't. And they're going to have to try to find us. Now, when they shine their flashlights on us, we're going to hide. Now, most of the things that we've hidden, one of those is you. Most of them are just like, hey, you missed me, didn't find me there. But some of them are actually scary critters. And if another player turns over a scary critter, they're going to have to end their turn right then, and you're going to be safe. So those are pretty good. So you hide yourselves with whatever tiles that you've gotten from here. Then we all need to go catch some fireflies. So each one of us is going to roll this firefly die one time. And it's either got a 1 on it, or it's got a 2 on it, or it's got a 3 on it. And if I roll a 1, I'm going to pick one of these tiles. That tile might be 1 firefly, it might be 2 fireflies, or it might be a nasty old mosquito. And we don't want to get one of those. So each one of us is going to roll the die, and we're going to get some fireflies, and we're going to keep them in our flashlight here. And after all of us have had a chance to get some fireflies, then we're going to try to find the other players. Now here I am, I've got 2 fireflies in here. I could use one of them and save another, or I could use both. I could decide to try to use both of them on this player and try to find them. Maybe I could do 1 on each. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to turn over this here tile. Oh, I didn't find that player. All right, he's safe from me. And this firefly goes to the discard pile. And now let me try to find this player. And oh, she got found. All right. Okay, then each player is going to have a chance to use their fireflies to find everybody. And then at the end of the turn, we check to see, were we hidden and our players are hidden? We get to move 1 space closer to the home base. Now this player doesn't get to move closer to home place because she got found. But on her next turn, when we go to hide again, this will turn over. She'll get 2 more of these. And now it's going to be even harder to find her. All right. Think I'll be able to find her next turn? I don't know. But also, she's 1 space behind us. Why would I even bother looking for her? I better look for this player who's close to home. Anyway, keep hidden. Make your way to home base. The first player that gets there will win. Now, if 2 of you get there in the same turn, well, we'll just have a little firefly contest. Whoever goes and finds the most fire. Oh, we both found 1. Oh, I found 1. He didn't. All right, I win the game. Anyway, that's Flashlights and Fireflies. You can find this on Amazon.com or any stores near you.
Thanks for taking some time to learn it.
Superpowered Smashbuster!
Hi. Hey, kids. Thanks for dropping in. Welcome to KidsCon.
KidsCon? A convention. In your backyard?
Sure, I thought it'd be nice to get outside for a bit of fresh air. Anyway, this is actually a virtual convention. We're filming a video that will be part of the KidsCon online event. That way people can attend without leaving their homes. So come on over to the table, let me show you what I'm selling. I think you're really gonna like it.
Superpowered Smashmasters?
Superpowered Smashmasters! It's a funny superhero card game you can play with your family and friends.
We know, Daddy. We helped you make it. Now we have to help you sell it. Do we get paid for this?
All your questions will be answered when I demo the game. I know what you're thinking. What is Superpowered Smashmasters? Or better yet, why is Superpowered Smashmasters? No one really knows. It's very mysterious, isn't it? What I can tell you is that my name's Adam Kogan, and I'm a game designer from Maine. I was inspired by my daughters to make this game when they started showing some interest in superheroes. There weren't many superhero games on the market at the time, especially ones that were inclusive to girls. Though that's changing a lot lately, I'm happy to say. So I wanted to design a game that was fun for all ages, but wouldn't make the grown-ups want to scream. A game the whole family could play together. I wanted it to be really funny, really fun, easy to learn, but with underlying strategies that make you want to pick it up and play it again and again. Now, I borrowed a few ideas from the collectible card game genre. You might already be familiar with card games like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, or their great-granddaddy, Magic: The Gathering. Superpowered Smashmasters is much, much easier than those games, but it's also a great gateway to the more complex card games. So parents, if your kid's just crazy for Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're begging you to play it all the time, but the learning curve is just too steep, this is the game for you. I'm not going to go over all the rules or even all the cards in this overview, but I will give you a good sense of what it's all about. Superpowered Smashmasters is kind of a battle royale style game. You assemble a team of silly superheroes and put them up against everyone else's hero teams. Last one standing wins. Let's take a look at the box for a second. Print quality is excellent. It's very sturdy. It's got these great heroes on the front. It says it's the core set and it's for 2 to 4 players with 24 heroes in the box. So inside the box you'll find 4 decks. Every player needs their own deck to play, so that's why it's a 4-player game in this box. We have a nice rule book which teaches you how to play. We spend a lot of time on the rules to break down all the concepts so that they're easy to digest, and we included a lot of examples and visual reference so that it's easy for you to learn. You'll also find in the box, I don't know if you can see it, but we have these card slots so you can separate your decks and keep them separate from each other, which is really important. It's made of a plastic material, so it should last you a long time. None of this cardboard stuff. Now, looking at the board here, you'll see that we have 3 heroes on our team and 3 heroes on the opposing team. And what we're going to try to do is defeat all those heroes and be the last one standing. During the game, you are either using a hero power or you are playing one of the cards in your hand. Let's look at some of the hero cards you'll be playing with. Each one is different, and they all have different powers. Some are great at attacking, while others protect the team or they do other weird stuff. Here's one of my favorites, the Quitter. His power is quitting your team. Is that an advantage? Sometimes. Here's Ghost Pirate. His power is R. Ghost Pirate gains a free smash against any active rival with an R in their name. So you'd look across at the other heroes and their names, and anyone who has an R in their name can be attacked with this power. So they're all different from each other, and it's really your strategy and how you use the powers that determines whether you win or lose. And this is our mascot hero, Dark Unicorn. We are Dark Unicorn Games. So this is Dark Unicorn. His power is that he can summon his fateful sidekick, Night Pony. So let's reach over here. You would take Night Pony from the hero stack there. You put him on your team, and now you have 4 heroes on your team instead of 3, which gives you certain advantages. And when it's your turn, you'll either use one of your hero's powers, or you'll play a card from your hand. This is your hand here. I don't know if you can see that. This kind of card is one of the most common in the deck. It's a smash card. This is called Superpowered Smash Masters, so we better have some smash cards, right? Now, smash cards are just like a basic kind of attack. It lets you pick one of your heroes and directly attack one of the opposing heroes. So you would say, Wilderness smashes Rage Ranger. And then the opposing team looks in their hand, and if they have a smash card, they can put it down. I'll reach over and do that. There we go. So now it is back to us. We look in our hand, and if we have a smash card, we always draw a card when we play a card. If we have another smash card, we can play it, and back and forth it goes until someone runs out of smash cards. So you can have some pretty epic smash battles. If the opposing team ran out of smash cards, let's say that happened, then the hero would get stunned. We turn them on their side, and now they are defenseless. So I'll reset here. If it went around the table and came back to us again, and they had not revived their stunned hero, we could do the same exact thing. Wilderness smashes Rage Ranger. She is stunned. She's defenseless now, and that means we will have defeated her. Put her in the defeated pile. We draw another hero out, and the game continues. Now, you can see there are a couple other cards in your hand. I'm going to talk about one other type. This is a story card. They're all different from each other. This one's called Krakathum. Each story card is different. They tend to affect everyone at the table. So if there are 8 people playing, this might affect all 8 teams. Some of them are just devastating. Some of them give you an extra turn. For this example, whoops, let me get that out of the way. For this example, this is Krakathum. Random explosions, enough said. Stun all active characters, and then revive all previously stunned characters. So what would happen in this case? Let's say they had us on the ropes. We were not doing well. They are gloating. They are being very rude. They're teasing us. They think they are at the edge of victory. But then we play this card. So it stuns all active characters and revives previously stunned characters. So we would revive our stunned characters, and all across the table, everyone who's playing, their active heroes would all get stunned. And then they would be crying, and we would be gloating. So that's one kind. This one says, New mutation, a mysterious virus sweeps the country. All mutants unexpectedly grow powerful wings and migrate to Mexico. Defeat all mutant characters. So then we'd look across and we'd look to see if there are any mutants on the team. Now, if you notice here, The ones that are in purple are called mutants. So they're a mutant hero. We will have defeated this hero. The other types are magic, like Ghost Pirate there. We have nature in green. And we also have gadget heroes like Dark Unicorn in red. Some cards just affect one type of hero. Each of our cards is beautifully illustrated either by guest artists from the comic industry or by Ben Licious, the art director at Dark Unicorn Games. And if you'd like to see how he produces this art and you want to learn a little bit more about drawing, come visit us on Facebook or YouTube. He has some speed drawing videos and some live streams that are very nice art tutorials, and he'll show you how it's done. That's Superpowered Smash Masters. You can buy the core set and the expansion set directly from our online store at darkunicorngames.com. We also have some helpful tutorial videos there, and you'll find a card database and lots of other weird stuff. I hope you'll come by for a visit. And if you're already enjoying the game, please visit our Facebook page and say hello. Smash you later.
Hi everyone, Skyhammer Studios here. I'm very excited to present you Quadropolis, a math-powered superhero-themed card game. Quadropolis is for 2 to 5 players, plays for 20 to 30 minutes, and is designed for ages 6 and up. As a player, you have the task of capturing the city's most powerful supervillains. Capture them outright by using superheroes and math-powered sidekicks, or by revealing the crook when solving a mystery. But keeping your supervillains from the clutches of other players will be a challenge. Quadropolis uses strategy, pattern matching, and some math to capture as many supervillains as possible and win the game. Now we're going to show you how the game is played. I'm going to use the superhero Kid Canary to capture the face.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
It's supposed to go right here. And I forgot. I need to grab another card.
Great. Yes, we always draw back up to 5. So let's see. My turn. I'm going to use the superhero Jinx Lek with a power level 5. And I'm going to team her up with Ninja Girl, power level 7. Because they're both enchanted superheroes, they can team up. So 7 plus 5 is 12. So I can now capture a level 12 supervillain. Get one of those bosses. I'm going to get Penny 2020.
Why do you always have to pick all my favorites?
Sorry about that. And these guys get discarded. Okay, your turn.
My turn. You know, I really love that Penny 2020. So I'm going to use a body swap to swap my supervillain with yours.
Oh, okay. So you use the special body swap. All right, so you take her.
Take this level 5 Thor face.
I'll just take her face. Okay, we are down to our last 2 supervillains. My turn. I am going to use the superhero Sparks to capture Mega Twin B. I'd like to capture Sensei Kapow, but she's not strong enough, so we'll get the sisters reunited.
Okay. I'm going to use Lady Wonder, a power level 8, to capture the last supervillain, Sensei Kapow.
Oh no, okay. Well, you grab the last supervillain, so the game ends. So now we're going to count our supervillain power levels to see who won. So let's see. I got an 8, power level 8, plus 12, that's 20. Another 12 is 32. 5 and 5 is 10. 32 plus 10 is 42. Plus 5, 47. I got 47 total.
Okay. So 12 plus 8 is 20. Then another 12 plus 8 is another 20. Then together those are 40. Then plus 5 is 45. Then plus 8 is 53.
Oh, you beat my score. You win.
Yes, I won the game. Hallelujah.
Good job. All right.
That was the game Cartropolis, a family game for ages 6 plus, 2 to 5 players, now available at the Game Crafter. Thanks for watching.
Hi, kidsconne visitors. My name is Itamara. Have you heard that I made a game? Well, if not, I'm going to tell you right now that I have. And the game is called Ship Race.
The hunt for the treasure is on! Race to the treasure island! This is your map! The first to get to the treasure island wins! Bye bye, dice! Hello, cards! Sail with cards! But first you have to wait for the wind. At your turn, draw one card, then play one card. Hooray! You got a wind card! The harbor is safe. 5 knot limit and nothing happens. No attacks. But out in the ocean, things can get rough. Make things happen with attack cards. Defend yourself with safeguards. Bounce back with proof cards. Settle Ship Race when you have a proof card for the attack card you get. Skip others at extra 10 knots. Yeah!
There are other fun rules. For example, there's Mayday. Mayday can be used when you can't get a safeguard you want. Another fun rule is Friend or Foe. This rule happens when you catch up to an opponent's ship. And that's when the action begins.
Now let's see the game in action. You start with 6 cards. Then you draw one card. Then you play one card. If you can't play a card, then you dump a card. If you have a win card, great. Next turn, you can start sailing with sail cards. In the harbor, it's a 5 knot limit. But remember, in the ocean, things can get rough. How it came about. This is the original ship race I made back in 2018 when I was 8. It was made out of scrap paper. Ship Race V1 with laminated game board for playtesting. Signing off to Copyright Office. Many prototypes. Many playtests. Filing for company and trademark. Sharing at school. Pitching to the local bookstore. Sharing at a local game con. Everyone loves Ship Race. Who makes Ship Race? We do at our home factory. Print, glue, cut, fold, paste, check, pack. Whew, that was hard work. So far, we've made about 35 copies of Ship Race.
If you want more information, please go to our website, www.shiprace.com.
For a limited time, we have a free print and play demo available for download. I hope this helps everyone staying at home have a little more fun. In our store, we have 2 versions of Ship Race for sale. The first is the box version of Ship Race that is printed on high quality paper. The second is Ship Race Lite. This version has all the features of the box version, but comes in an envelope and is printed on a much lighter paper for easier shipping.
Thank you for watching this video.
Hi, I'm Jeff Black.
And I'm Josh.
And we are the design team at Little J Games. We're psyched to be here today just to share with you a few of our games. Looking forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. But without further ado, Josh, let's get us started. Why don't you show your game?
This is my game, Dragon Hatchlings, where you play as a young dragon trying to open as many of your own eggs as you can. If you draw one of your own eggs, you keep it. If it's one of your opponent's eggs, you shuffle it back into the middle.
That's right. Now, the first one to get 5 eggs will trigger the end of the game, but it's not necessarily 5 eggs that'll win. It's the most valuable group of eggs. So just because you go out of the game first doesn't necessarily mean you win. There's also some fun ways to mess around with your opponents in the game. Each dragon has
their own special ability that they can use to mess up their opponents.
Right, and there's also special action cards that are mixed in with the deck here that you can sometimes find to have a little extra fun during the game too. So, the second game we wanted to share with you today is one we've shown around a few times before, but it's had some big changes. Some say monumental changes. Now, the name of the game is Rushmore Monumental, and in the game you're trying to build a tableau of 4 cool faces, much like the faces on the famous Mount Rushmore National Memorial out in South Dakota. So, one thing we discovered throughout extensive playtesting is that people really like to drop rocks. So, in the spirit of the game, carving stone faces, chipping away at stones, chipping rocks, we have done some research here and we have managed to find a way to harness the gravitational power of the entire planet Earth in this one mechanism. You ready? Do you want to show? Wherever the rocks fall, whichever card they land on, you claim for yourself. And you try to build your own group of awesome faces, as I said before. So there's a few other ways that you can mess around with your opponents, improve your own faces, maybe damage some of their faces. And in the end, whoever makes the most valuable group will win the coveted contract to carve what will become the Mount Rushmore National Memorial.
These are a couple more of our games. This one is Bears and Squares. This one is Moonlight Hippos and the Dreaded Croc.
These are both games that we've made recently, within about definitely the last year. They're both available as print and plays online, although I will admit the print and plays don't look quite as nice as what you're going to see right here in front of you. But that being said, let's have a quick look. Bears and Squares was inspired by a poem written by A.A. Milne. And in this game, you play as a young school child trying to make your way across the busy streets of London to get to Buckingham Palace without getting mauled by bears along the way. It's a family weight game, despite the bear mauling aspect of it, and it plays really quick and it's fun for parents and kids to play together. This game over here is a co-op game. It's called Moonlight Hippos and the Dreaded Croc, and in this game you play as a family of hippos who have gone out to graze on the savannah under the moonlight, but you need to get back to your watering hole before dawn because that's when the dreaded croc arrives. And if he gets to your watering hole before you, you're going to have to spend all day out in the hot sun, getting a sunburn and all that, and nobody wants that, right? So these are a couple more of our games. As I said, they're both available online, and we wanted to say thanks for having a look. It's good to get to know you. The name of our company is Little J Games. We make all kinds of games, and we're psyched to see you at our table someday. So thanks.
Hello, Space Cadets, and thanks for stopping by today to check out Mission to Planet Hex. Mission to Planet Hex is a new board and card game in one set in outer space. It is made to be played by 2 to 4 players ages 10 and up. If you're a little bit younger and you're a good reader and used to playing board games, you might find this easy to play. But parents, this is not really a game for small children. In this game, you are a space cadet fresh out of Space Cadet School and ready for your first mission. The galaxy that you explore in the game is made up of a map of space and planet cards. You and the other players create a new and different map of the universe every time you play, so what the game board looks like is totally up to you. The reason it is important for you to explore the galaxy you build is because you need to acquire the data cubes found on planets and on certain spaces in order to win the game. The other cards in the game represent events that happen to you and the other players as you play. You can meet mysterious aliens, find strange objects, or encounter perplexing dilemmas as you explore, and each event card has some cool effect on the game. Plus, a lot of the events are surprises, which you can play on other players' turns, so if you want to slow down your opponents, you might like surprises. So how exactly do you win? Well, each player has a mission file which is like a scorecard, and your job is to use the data you collected from the planets and spaces to add or upload other cards to the edges of the mission file until you have no empty edges left. The first player to complete their mission file is the winner. Mission to Planet Hex is coming soon, but if you would like to know more, ask an adult to check out our Facebook page, where we have a 2-player print and play version, complete with rulebook, available now for you to download, print, cut out, and play. If you would like to play with 4 players, you can print 2 copies and mix them together. Also on our Facebook page, we have posts, files, and links to other great information about appearances, promotions, stickers, magnets, and our YouTube channel, which has how to play videos, slideshows, and photos of happy players of all ages trying out our game, even some from kidsconne live. We are also happy to answer any questions about the game that you might have if you send us a message or email. Until we see you again, thanks for stopping by, Space Cadets, and happy journey.
Hi, and welcome to the Puzzle Party. I'm your host, S. Matt Reed, and today I'm going to share something very special with you. It's something I came up with years ago, and I like to call it box mazes. When I was a kid, I loved mazes, so I started coming up with my own. The idea is the same, start here, go there, but they look very different. And if you like mazes, stick around. I'd like you to do this with me. For today's exercise, we're going to need a sheet of paper, at least 1 pen or pencil or marker, and I've got a couple of extra so it'll be a little bit more clear, but you really only need 1. Let's start. So the very first thing we're going to do is fill this whole sheet of paper with boxes. Big boxes, little boxes, weird boxes. They don't have to be perfect, just go crazy. You want as many boxes as possible. So, okay, that was easy. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'd like you to do the same thing. Just keep going. They can even be super small, like this. Your choice. Fill this entire page with boxes, and then for the second part, I'll show you how to turn it into a maze. So get cracking. So as you can see, I filled this page with all kinds of boxes, big boxes, little boxes, long boxes, little bitty, itty bitty, tiny boxes. They're all perfect for this kind of maze/puzzle. So very first thing we need to do is assign a start, which I'm going to put an S for, and a finish with an F. So let's see what we can do here. How about this? I'm going to choose something like right, the S right there in the middle, and then, you know what? Let's put the F maybe right also in the middle. Okay, now our mazes are not going to look exactly alike. I mean, they're both going to be boxy, they're both going to have other things like the S and the F that are going to be exactly the same, but you're going to do an entirely original maze today, just like I am, and they're both going to be awesome. So this is what we do. we start drawing lines that will eventually connect all the boxes in this maze, but only one path, just like in a normal maze, only one path is going to lead from the S all the way to the F, the start to the finish. For example, I just connected my start square to like half a dozen other boxes. Now, as per the rules of this box maze, you can travel in a straight line from one box to another. So, as a starting choice, this one box could go whoosh, 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 to any of those boxes. That's already totally different from a normal maze where, generally speaking, you can only go up, down, left, or right. So, 6 options is way crazy. If I wanted to add more, I could. Now, I'm going to keep on connecting these other boxes. I only want one path from the start to the finish, and that's going to be a totally secret path. Like, you cannot make this maze in front of the person you're going to give it to. It's got to be a secret. Okay? The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my path all the way from, I'll probably go all the way around. I mean, I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do, but it's something like that. I'm going to go all the way around all these boxes, probably using maybe like 15 or 20 boxes, maybe more, I don't know. I'm going to go all the way around in a crazy pattern and finish on the F, and then I'm going to use all the paths that I didn't use, and those are going to be my fake paths, okay? Now, with my maze, I don't really know how easy or hard it's going to be. I mean, hopefully it'll just be fun. And I want you to be having fun doing this too. So just be as simple or as complex as you want to be. Just keep in mind that the person that does the maze has to travel box to box in a straight line. So, and the reason that's important is if you cross another line, they cannot switch paths. For example, okay, so there are 2 separate paths here. They're going their own separate way, and then all of a sudden they cross. The rules stipulate you cannot switch paths. So these 2 boxes, you can only travel from here to here. You can't midway go, whoa, I like that path way better. Can't do it. So just keep that in mind as you're constructing your maze. It's totally okay to cross lines. It's up to the puzzle solver to figure out which is the right path. Okay? Now, get cracking. All right, I just finished. Wow, there's a lot of boxes, a lot of lines. But look at this thing. Doesn't that look awesome? It's a maze like no one's ever seen before. I hope you give it to someone special, and I hope they have a lot of fun with it. And in fact, try to get them to make you one. It's really fun. I hope you enjoyed Box Maze today, and I hope you make a ton of them. And come back for more videos. I'll keep on sharing fun, crazy ideas about puzzles and mazes and anything else I dream up. And if you're interested in doing this maze, I'll include a snapshot at the end of the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day.
Hey, kidsconne New England! This is Jeff Johnson of Parajax Games, and I'm here to teach you a game. We could learn a game about playing flashlight freeze tag at night, or we could play a game about toasting marshmallows. Which one would you like to learn about? Huh? Oh, marshmallows? Well, alrighty then. Toasted or roasted? Here you go. So, here's just a quick intro of how you play toasted or roasted. So, each one of you players is going to have 2 things. A stack of firewood that you're going to use to toast your marshmallows, and a nice toasting stick. And the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your cards is look to see if you have a fire starter. Because what you're going to be able to do with that is put it on your firewood and start a nice, lovely campfire. And then on your next turn, you're going to be able to take a nice marshmallow, put it on your stick over your marshmallow, over that fire. And if it goes around amongst all of the players and comes back to you, you can play a toasted card on that. You'll keep the toasted card and put that one in the discard. If you can collect 3 of those toasted cards, you've won the game. But while your marshmallow is over the campfire, the other players might roast your marshmallow, turn it into a blackened crisp, and that'll send it into the discard pile. Or they could rain on your campfire and turn it back into wood. And when you try to light it again, maybe they'll blow a strong wind on you. Oh, but if you can survive all that danger and collect your 3 cards, you've won the game. So that's a quick overview of how to play Toasted or Roasted. You can find it on Amazon.com and play it anytime you want. Oh, wait, one more thing. Yes, you can play with real marshmallows.
I love seeing families work together to create their own unique games.
Yeah, and oh, hey, what's this? We've just been granted access to a super secret superhero meeting.
Ooh, let's tune in.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. I am with all my friends. Some of us are princesses, some of us are heroes, some of us have wings, and we even have a mouse with us as well. And so we are all here to answer any questions that you may have. Our first question is from Flavia for Ladybug. What are your superpowers?
So my superpower is, they call it the superpower of creation. It's called Lucky Charm, and when I use it, I can create an item that usually gives me a clue on how to beat the bad guys.
Awesome. And then we have some questions from Nolan for Anna. So what's your favorite game to play with Olaf?
I think it'd have to be hide and seek. We live in a really, really big castle, so there's so many different places to hide. And I kind of have an advantage because I know all like the secret hiding spots, so you know, it makes it extra fun.
From Ariel, from Emily, what do you like most about being a mermaid?
What I like most about being a mermaid, I love swimming. And so we have to stay inside right now so we can go back to the beaches once it warms up so we can visit the water and all of our ocean friends.
From Avery, how many thingamabobs do you have, Ariel?
Let's see, I got 20, I think, last time I counted.
Avery for Tinkerbell is, what can you do with your pixie dust?
Pixie dust can do lots of different things, so it's the main source of magic for fairies, and every fairy can do something different with their own pixie dust. So my pixie dust lets me do tinkering, and some of my other friends, like Silver Mist, her pixie dust lets her have water magic.
Rana for Spidey is, Spider-Man, can you jump in the snow?
Can I jump in the snow? I love jumping in the snow. It's almost as good as water.
Wants to ask Spider-Man if Gwen Stacy is okay.
Gwen Stacy, she's not really around right now, but she might be back.
The question from Minnie, do you know where Mickey is? My sister loves Mickey.
Oh, well, I'll have to tell Mickey that. Well, the last I heard from him, he's back at his house with Pluto. He always has to make sure he takes plenty of walks and feeds him. So he's been taking really good care of him.
To ask Ariel, how did you meet Prince Eric?
I met Prince Eric when I saved him from a ship. He was drowning. Now, we always have to practice our swimming so we'll be able to swim if we ever fall in the water. But he was drowning during a big storm and there were large waves. But I brought him up to shore and I sang to him before he went to sleep, and the other humans came and rescued him.
It's to ask Mary, why do you look angry, Mary?
They look angry.
I think that is just because I'm British, and that's just the way that I look. Also because I am a nanny, and nannies must look stern, so that they that their charges will make sure that they obey them when they tell them what to do.
For you, Batman, so you can answer them for Lacey. Where did you get all that money?
Well, actually, I do have a source. Bruce Wayne actually, helped me out with my crime-fighting habits, and I'm very fortunate to have a benefactor that helps me with that.
And do you make all your gadgets yourself?
Not all my gadgets. I do have help from Wayne Tech Enterprises, and but some gadgets I pretty much make my own. So, like my batarangs, sometimes like little gadgets like this. That's I'm working on right now, just for in case a Kryptonian decides to go rogue or two.
We're so lucky we're separated by a computer screen right now.
Batman's not being very nice right now. He's teasing us, aren't you, Batman?
I'm just being prepared. It helps when you're prepared.
Question for Batman and Superman. Are you guys friends now? I got into a fight with my friend and want to know how we can be friends again.
The thing I've learned with Batman, and even when you're friends, sometimes you're going to disagree. And that's going to happen, and that's normal for all of us. So the way Batman and I made it up, we had to sit down and we had to talk. And we both were sorry for what we had done, and when we explained that to each other and we talked, and it made it a lot better. So maybe if you sit down with your friend and talk and just kind of, be honest how you were feeling, and they'll be honest with you, that'll probably help make things a lot better. I don't know, what do you...
You said it really, really good, right? The way we do it, because we sat down and we talked about it, and, I can admit that you were wrong, so it's okay. But other than that, you know what? You just work things out, you talk about things, and if you really care about each other, you become friends. You got to realize that there are more problems in the world than just arguing with your friends. So think about the bigger picture and think about the values that you have with one another, and that you guys like each other and you guys want to hang out. And not always going to agree on everything, but you know what? If you get along, and just, deal with that.
So I have a question for Thor from Nova. Are you still part of the Avengers?
Oh, that's a tough one. Sort of am, sort of not. As you've seen before, I've been friends with the rabbit and tree for a little while. And then we grew a very, very big bond, and now we hang out with Quail and his crew. So now I'm as Guardians of the Galaxy now. For now, I guess. But I still talk to the Avengers for a little bit.
Strong, just like you.
Ooh, that's a tough one. You gotta drink all your milk, stay mighty, and knowledge is key. And muscles.
Question for Minnie. Embry wants to know if she is doing a good job with potty training. She accidentally pottied in her clothes basket today.
Oh. Well, accidents will happen sometime. But as long as you keep trying and practice every day, I'm sure you'll get it at some point.
From Nova, do you know who Master Fu, if Master Fu is doing okay since you are the Guardian now?
Yeah, he doesn't really remember me too well, but he knows me enough that I did help him, so I do write letters occasionally to him, and he does seem to be doing well. So yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for Dr. Strange. What is the background behind you? And that's from Rona's mom.
Well, I am in the Sanctum Sanctorum. This is where I work at protecting the mystical arts.
Easton is asking, should he take a nap soon, and why should he?
I think that is a very good question. Yes, you should probably take a nap soon. I'm guessing, I don't know everything, but I can see a lot of possible futures. That you were probably very active playing with your brother and your mother and your father today. So it's probably a good idea to take a nap to get some rest and get some energy for later on in the day.
You get nervous flying from Nova. Okay, so to answer that question, at first when I did try to learn how to fly on Earth, I was really nervous. And that's because when I came down to Earth, I was actually 7 years old. And so getting used to the gravity and the atmosphere of Earth made it very difficult for me because I didn't even realize I could fly here until I tried it for a little bit the first time. So yeah, it was a little scary getting used to how different Earth is from Krypton, but over time I actually really did enjoy flying. It's really pretty. If you've ever been on a plane, I'm sure you think it's really cool just looking out the window and seeing how tiny everything looks. So it's that same amazing feeling that I get when I fly. Wants to know, what is Anna's favorite color?
Oh boy. I think I have to agree with Minnie on this one. I think my favorite color is pink. You can use it on so many different things, and there's beautiful pink flowers, so pink it is.
It's such a wonderful color, isn't it?
It is.
That's my favorite color too.
Pink is a good color on you, Thor. I think you should wear it more often.
I second that. Ask Tinkerbell what it is like to fly. Because Tinkerbell can also fly. How did we forget that?
That's
I think my flying's a little bit different because I have wings, but it's one of my favorite things to do. One of my favorite things is when it's nice and bright and sunny out and I can just go fly around and see all the different animals and trees and flowers and everything.
And then Dr. Strange, Flavia wants to know, what's your favorite color?
I would say that as much as everybody would want me to say pink,
say it.
I believe my favorite color is probably red, the color of my cape.
That's a good choice, Dr. Strange. I like red too.
I also like red.
It's close to pink.
It's the color of my dress.
Friends, please tell Embry how she can be a good girl.
Oh, well, there are many ways to be a good girl. You can be a good girl by being kind and being nice to those around you and using your please and thank yous, of course. That's very important to use your please and thank yous. And you can be a good girl by sharing when you have things to share, and by playing nicely with your friends or your siblings or your parents. You can also be a good girl by washing your hands, especially nowadays. And you can also be a good girl by doing what your parents tell you to without complaining.
Awesome. And then, let's see. This is a question for Minnie from Embry. She would like to know, which bow is Minnie's favorite?
Which bow is mine? That's a really interesting question. I have so many that I don't know if I have a favorite bow. Well, if I had to choose, I think probably the one I'm wearing is my favorite. It seems to be the one that I wear the most often. So I probably have to choose this one.
Strange. So can you really control time?
I can turn back time.
So this is a question from Rona. Can you really control time?
I can stop time. Mary?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you really think that would work on me? I am Mary Poppins, after all.
I did.
Really? Well, you were clearly mistaken. Are you going to restart time, or shall I? Well, I see I shall have to do it myself then. 1, 2, 3.
Cheating.
So this is from Rona. Can you really control time?
I can.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and to all the amazing guests and creators that participated. We had a blast.
Join us in our next episode, where we'll meet more amazing creators, guests, and fun workshops.
See you next time.
Toodles! KidsCon Online is made possible by supporters like you. To support us, go to kidscononline.com and click Donate. Thank you.